I found out my girlfriend was cheating on me because of a goddamn Spotify playlist. Not texts, not lipstick on a collar, not some cliché hotel receipt. A fucking playlist called Late Night Drives that she'd been collaborating on with someone named Marcus. We'd been together for 2 years, living together for 8 months. I thought we were solid. She was a marketing manager at a tech startup. I was in finance. We had the kind of relationship that looked perfect from the outside. Brunches with friends, couples, gym sessions, that nauseating shit people post on Instagram. But I'd noticed things, small things. She'd started going to networking events that ran until midnight. Her phone was suddenly always face down. She'd come home smelling like cologne that wasn't mine, and when I'd mention it, she'd laugh and say one of her gay coworkers was obsessed with hugging everyone. The playlist thing happened on a Tuesday. I was using her laptop because mine was dead and Spotify was open. I saw it. Late Night Drives, you and Marcus. 47 songs, all added within the last 3 months. I clicked on Marcus's profile. Marcus Chen, 29, software engineer. Profile picture showed a good-looking Asian guy with one of those carefully messy haircuts and a smile that probably made women's ovaries explode. My stomach dropped. I scrolled through the playlist. It was intimate. Not just music you'd share with a colleague. These were songs about longing, about secret moments, about fucking yearning. The kind of playlist you make when you're falling for someone. I sat there staring at the screen for probably 20 minutes, my brain trying to rationalize it. Maybe they were just friends. Maybe this was innocent. Maybe I was being paranoid. Then I saw the song he'd added 2 days ago, She Will Be Loved by Maroon 5. And I knew. Sarah came home around 8 p.m. that night. I was sitting in the dark in our living room, her laptop still open in front of me. "Hey, babe, why are you sitting in the dark? You okay?" "Who's Marcus?" The pause was maybe 2 seconds, but it felt like an hour. I watched her face cycle through emotions, confusion, recognition, then carefully constructed innocence. "Marcus? From work. Why?" "Cut the bullshit, Sarah." I turned the laptop toward her, the playlist glowing in the darkness. Her face went white. That's not what it looks like." "Really? Because it looks like you've been making romantic playlists with some guy named Marcus while telling me you love me every fucking night." "Jake, please." "How long?" It's not, we're just friends." "How long?" She sat down on the couch, and I watched her decide whether to keep lying or come clean. She chose a middle path, the worst option. 3 months, she whispered. "But it's not physical. We connect. It's emotional." I laughed, actually laughed. "Oh, well, that makes it so much better. You're just emotionally fucking him?" "Don't be an asshole. Don't be an asshole. You're the one who's been lying to my face for 3 months. She started crying, the tears I'd fallen for 100 times before, the tears that used to make me want to fix everything, to be better, to be enough. This time, they just made me angry. "Where does he think you are right now?" "What?" "When you're here with me, when you're sleeping in our bed, when you're telling me you love me, where does Marcus think you are?" She didn't answer. And that's when I knew. That's when the full scope of it hit me. He doesn't know about me, does he? Her silence was the answer. "Sarah, does Marcus know you have a boyfriend?" "It's complicated. Does he know?" No, he doesn't know about you." I should have kicked her out right then. I should have packed her shit and ended it, but I didn't. Instead, I made a decision that would change everything. I want to meet him. "What? No, Jake, that's insane." "You've been lying to both of us. He thinks you're single. I thought you were faithful. Someone needs to tell the truth, and since you clearly won't, I will. You can't do that. Watch me. I grabbed her phone off the coffee table. She tried to snatch it back, but I was faster. What's your passcode? Jake, please don't. What's your passcode? She gave it to me. What choice did she have? I opened her messages with Marcus. The conversation history made me want to throw up. Good morning texts, late-night paragraphs about their days, flirty banter, plans to meet up. And there in black and white, 3 days ago, can't wait to see you Friday. Your place? I'll bring wine. Tomorrow was Friday. You were going to his place tomorrow night. It wasn't a question. Jake, were you gonna fuck him? I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. At least she was finally being honest. I started typing a message to Marcus from her phone. Sarah, hey, change of plans for tomorrow. Can we meet for coffee first? There's something important I need to tell you. Starbucks on 5th at 6 p.m.? I showed her the screen. I'm sending this, and I'm going to be there. You can come if you want, or you can sit here and wait to see if your little fantasy survives reality. Your choice. This is cruel. This is cruel? Sarah, you've been living a double life for 3 months. You made him think he had a chance with a single woman. You made me think I had a faithful girlfriend. If anyone's being cruel here, it's you. I hit send. Marcus replied within 2 minutes. Of course. Is everything okay? You seem stressed lately. Stressed. Yeah, I bet she's been stressed. Lying is exhausting.
The confrontation. Friday came. Sarah had been a ghost around the apartment for 2 days, sleeping on the couch, avoiding eye contact. She tried to talk to me a few times, but what was there to say? She'd asked me not to go through with it. Begged, actually. Told me it would ruin everything. Everything's already ruined, I'd told her. I'm just making sure he knows it too. At 5:45 p.m., I was sitting in the Starbucks on 5th, near the window, with a clear view of the entrance. Sarah had decided to come. She sat 2 tables away, looking like she might throw up. I'd gone through Marcus's Instagram the night before. He seemed like a good guy, posted about his dog, his family, his coding projects. He had a photo with his mom from her birthday last month. He volunteered at a food bank. This wasn't some scumbag trying to steal another man's girl. This was someone who had no idea he was being used as an escape route from a relationship Sarah was too cowardly to end. At 5:58, Marcus walked in. He was better looking in person, tall, well-dressed in a casual way that probably cost more than it looked. He spotted Sarah immediately, and his face lit up with a smile that made my chest tighten. He was falling for her, really falling for her. He walked over to her table. Hey, you okay? Your text sounded... That's when I stood up and walked over. Marcus? I said. He turned, confused. Yeah? Do I know you? No, but I know you. I'm Jake, Sarah's boyfriend. I watched it hit him. The confusion, the processing, then the look. That horrible moment when someone realizes they've been lied to. What? He looked at Sarah. Sarah, what is he talking about? She'd gone pale, frozen, unable to speak. We've been together for 2 years, living together for 8 months, and apparently for the last 3 months, she's been telling you she's single. Sarah? His voice cracked. Is this true? She finally found words. Marcus, I can explain. Is it true? He demanded. Do you have a boyfriend? Yes, she whispered. But it's not that simple. It's exactly that simple. Marcus looked like he'd been punched. What the fuck, Sarah? I asked you directly. I asked you if you were seeing anyone and you said no. I know. I'm sorry. When did you ask her? I cut in. Marcus looked at me, and I saw the anger shift to something worse. Humiliation. Our first date, 6 weeks ago. She said she was single, said she'd been single for over a year. 6 weeks ago, Sarah and I had gone to her company retreat. We had sex in the hotel room. She had told me she loved me. That motherfucker had no idea I existed, I said, looking at Sarah. You really made him think you were available. You went on dates with him? We just got coffee a few times, Sarah started. We went to dinner. We went to a concert. We talked for hours. He stopped, shaking his head. Jesus Christ! I told you things about my family, about my past relationships, about what I wanted in a partner. And you were playing house with someone else the whole time? People were starting to stare. The barista looked concerned, like she might call security. Can we take this outside? She pleaded. No, Marcus and I said at the same time. He turned to me. How did you find out? Spotify playlist. She was making a romantic playlist with you. He nodded slowly. Late night drives. She told me music was really important to her, that sharing songs was intimate. He laughed bitterly. I thought I was special. So did I. We stood there, two guys who'd been played by the same woman, and the weird thing was, I didn't hate him. He was a victim here, too. Sarah finally stood up. Can I please explain? What's there to explain? Marcus asked. You lied. For 3 months you lied to both of us. I was confused, she said, tears streaming. Jake and I have been having problems. Bullshit, I interrupted. We haven't been having problems. You created problems in your head to justify what you were doing. I asked you 2 months ago if everything was okay, and you said we'd never been better. Because I didn't want to hurt you. So lying was better? Marcus shook his head. Do you hear yourself? You didn't want to hurt him, so you started something with me without telling him he existed. How is that less hurtful? I care about both of you. You don't care about either of us, I said. If you cared, you would have been honest. You would have ended things with me before starting something with him. But instead, you wanted to keep both options open. She didn't deny it. Marcus ran his hand through his hair. Did you sleep with him? While we were, whatever we were doing? Sarah looked at the floor. Answer him, I said. Yes, she whispered. Marcus's face twisted with disgust. When? When was the last time? 2 nights ago. The night before her planned visit to his apartment. She was going to sleep with me, then go sleep with him. Unbelievable, Marcus muttered. He looked at me. Did you know? About me? Not until Tuesday. Found out the same way you're finding out now. Blindsided. He nodded. Then he turned to Sarah. I need you to understand something. I wasn't looking for casual. I told you that. I told you I'd been hurt before, that I was careful about who I let in, and you... His voice broke. You made me feel like maybe I'd finally found someone real. You did! Sarah reached for him. He stepped back. No, I didn't. I found a liar who was using me as a backup plan.
The 3 of us stood there in that Starbucks, and the weight of it all seemed to finally hit Sarah. Not guilt. I don't think she was capable of real guilt, but the realization that she'd lost both of us. I never meant for this to happen, she said weakly. Yes, you did, Marcus said. Every time you texted me, every time you made plans with me, every time you let me think I had a chance with you, you meant for it to happen. You just didn't mean to get caught. He was right. Sarah hadn't slipped up. She hadn't made a mistake. She'd constructed an entire alternate reality where she was available, single, ready for something new, and she'd maintained it for 3 months. What was the plan? I asked. How long were you going to keep this up? I don't know, Sarah admitted. I thought I could figure out what I wanted. By stringing us both along, Marcus's anger was giving way to something colder. You know what the sad thing is? I would have waited. If you'd told me you were seeing someone but weren't sure about the relationship, I would have respected that. I would have given you space to figure it out. But you didn't give me that choice. Sarah was full-on sobbing now. I'm so sorry. Marcus, I really do care about you. Stop, he said. Just stop. You don't get to make yourself feel better by apologizing. You did this. Own it. He looked at me. Man, I'm sorry. I really didn't know. I believe you, I said. And I did. This guy was as much a victim as I was. For what it's worth, Marcus continued, she talked about you. Not by name, but she'd mention her ex, said the relationship ended badly, said she wasn't ready to be serious again, but that I was making her feel things she hadn't felt in a long time. He laughed without humor. I thought I was helping her heal. Turns out, I was just the other guy. You weren't the other guy. I was the other guy. I was the placeholder while she test drove a new model. She flinched at that. Did she tell you about the apartment? I asked Marcus. He looked confused. What apartment? We lived together, have for 8 months. We signed a lease renewal 3 weeks ago, 2-year commitment. Marcus stared at Sarah. You signed a 2-year lease with him while dating me? I didn't know what to do. You break up with him, Marcus shouted. Several customers looked over. He lowered his voice. Jesus, Sarah, you don't lock yourself into a 2-year lease with someone while you're actively pursuing someone else. That's not confusion. That's cowardice. The barista came over. I'm sorry, but if you can't keep it down, I'll have to ask you to leave. We're leaving, Marcus said. He looked at Sarah one more time. Lose my number. Don't text me. Don't call me. Don't show up at my work. If I see you, I'll walk the other way. We're done. He walked out. Sarah turned to me. Jake, please. The lease. I'll talk to the landlord. One of us is moving out. I don't care which, but I'm not living with you. Where will I go? I don't know. Figure it out. You're good at maintaining multiple realities, right? Create a new one. This isn't you, she said. You're not cruel. I'm not, but I'm also not a doormat. You made your choices, Sarah. You chose to lie. You chose to cheat. You chose to hurt 2 people who cared about you. These are the consequences. I started to walk away, then turned back. You know what the worst part is? I would have understood. If you'd come to me and said you were unhappy, that you wanted to end things, I would have been hurt, but I would have respected it. Instead, you made me the fool. You made him the fool. And for what? So you didn't have to feel uncomfortable for a few weeks while you transitioned from one relationship to another? She didn't answer. When you're alone tonight, and you will be alone, think about that. Think about whether avoiding discomfort was worth destroying 2 people's trust in you. I left her standing there in the Starbucks, crying into her hands while strangers pretended not to watch.
The aftermath. I went to a bar. Not to get drunk, I needed to think clearly, but because I couldn't go back to the apartment yet, I needed space. I was on my 2nd beer when someone slid into the seat next to me. Marcus. Figured you might end up somewhere like this, he said. Saw you walk this direction. You followed me? Seemed like we both could use a drink from someone who gets it. The bartender came over. Marcus ordered a whiskey. We sat in silence for a minute. How long were you actually together? He finally asked. You and her. 2 years. Met at a friend's party. She was charming, smart, ambitious. I thought I had gotten lucky. Same, Marcus said. Met her at a networking event. She was talking about marketing strategy with so much passion. I was hooked immediately. 3 months ago? I asked. Yeah, November. She said she'd just moved to the city for work. Said she was living alone, still figuring things out. She moved here 2 years ago. She moved into my place 8 months ago. She was never living alone. Marcus took a long drink. Every single thing she told me was a lie. Not everything, I said. The things she told you about herself, her work, her family, her interests, those were probably true. She just edited out the parts that included me. That's almost worse, Marcus said. Like I knew the real her, just not the real situation. We ordered another round. You think she was sleeping with both of us the whole time? Marcus asked. Probably. She has a high sex drive. Used to be something I liked about our relationship. Now it just makes me feel disgusted. Did she ever say things that seemed rehearsed? Like she'd practiced them? Yeah, actually. Why? Because she told me this whole thing about how she used to think love was about grand gestures, but now she realizes it's about small moments. making coffee together in the morning, sharing music, just existing in the same space comfortably. My stomach dropped. She told me that exact same thing 6 months ago. I thought she was opening up about what she wanted from our relationship. She told me that 3 weeks ago. We looked at each other. She's got a script. She's literally using the same lines on both of us. Marcus pulled out his phone. He screenshotted some texts because they were sweet. I wanted to remember them. He showed me. Sarah, I love how we can talk about anything. I feel like I can be my real self with you. I pulled up my own phone, found a text from 2 months ago. Sarah, I love how we can talk about anything. I feel like I can be my real self with you. Word for word identical. Holy shit! Marcus breathed. She's running the same playbook. We started comparing. The more we looked, the worse it got. She'd used the same compliments, made the same observations about relationships, even suggested the same date activities. This is what she does. This is who she is. We weren't special. We were just next in line. Marcus looked shock-shelled. How many guys do you think there were before us? I don't know, but I guarantee we weren't the first. We stayed at that bar for 3 hours. By the end, we'd gotten the whole timeline straight. November, Sarah meets Marcus at a networking event. December, they start texting regularly. She tells me she's making more work friends. January, their first date, though she called it coffee with a colleague when I asked about her evening. February, the playlist starts. She tells me she's falling for him. She tells me she loves me. March, they go to a concert together. She tells me it's a girls' night. 2 weeks ago, she almost sleeps with Marcus, but backs out last minute, tells him she wants it to be special. 2 days ago, she sleeps with me. Tonight, everything explodes. She was going to sleep with you tonight, I said, at your place. She'd been building up to it. Marcus nodded. And then what? She just keeps both relationships going? Until one of us found out or she got bored, whichever came first. You know what kills me? Marcus said. I thought about introducing her to my parents. My mom keeps asking when I'm going to bring someone home. I was going to ask Sarah next month. We were talking about getting engaged, I admitted. Not officially, but in that someday soon way couples do. She'd mentioned wanting to be married by 30. Marcus laughed bitterly. She told me she didn't believe in rushing into commitment, said she'd seen too many people get engaged too fast and regret it. She told me the opposite, said life's too short to wait when you know someone's right. Jesus Christ, she really did just tell us each what we wanted to hear. Around 10 p.m., I finally headed back to the apartment. Marcus offered to come with me in case things got messy, but I told him I'd be fine. Sarah's car was gone when I got home. The apartment was mostly empty. She'd taken her clothes, her bathroom stuff, some furniture that was technically hers. She left a note on the kitchen counter. Jake, I'm staying with my sister. I'll pay my half of rent until the lease is up or you find someone to take it over. I know you won't believe this, but I never wanted to hurt you. I just didn't know how to end things without losing everything. So I tried to have both, and ended up with neither. I'm sorry. Sarah. I crumpled up the note and threw it away. Then I texted Marcus. She's gone, moved out, left a bullshit apology note. He texted back immediately. Good. You okay? Getting there. You? Same. Listen, weird suggestion, but you want to grab coffee tomorrow? Not to talk about her. Just, I don't know. Feels like we're the only two people who actually understand what just happened. Yeah, that'd be good.
3 months later, I'm sitting in that same Starbucks on 5th, but this time it's by choice. Marcus is across from me, and we're talking about his new girlfriend. She knows everything, he says. About Sarah, about how we met. I told her on the second date. Figured if she was going to run, better to find out early. And she didn't run? She said it made sense. Said anyone who'd been through something like that would be careful about honesty. Smart woman. She is. She's different. Real. I can tell she's actually saying what she thinks, not what she thinks I want to hear. I'm happy for him. Genuinely. We've become friends. The kind of friendship that only forms when you've been through something surreal together. The lease on the apartment ended last month. I moved into a smaller place downtown. Fresh start. I ran into Sarah once at a grocery store. She was with a new guy. Tall, handsome, laughing at something she said. For a second, I wondered if she'd told him about me, about Marcus, about any of us. Then I realized I didn't care. She saw me, and her face went pale. I just nodded and walked past. That's the thing about people like Sarah. They don't change. They just find new people who don't know their history yet. But Marcus and I, we learned something. We learned that your gut knows before your brain does. That when someone's stories don't quite add up, when they're vague about their time, when they compartmentalize their life a little too perfectly, those aren't quirks. They're warnings. We learned that sometimes the person who seems too good to be true is exactly that. And we learned that confronting the truth, even when it's brutal, is always better than living in a comfortable lie. Yeah, that actually happened. If you're hooked and want more stories about trusting your instincts before it's too late, hit subscribe. More coming. Marcus texts me sometimes with updates about his girlfriend. I'm seeing someone too now, taking it slow, asking the right questions this time. But every once in a while, I think about that Spotify playlist, late night drives, the soundtrack to someone else's fantasy relationship with my girlfriend. I hope Marcus deleted it. I know I would have. And if Sarah ever makes another playlist with another guy, I hope he's smarter than we were. I hope he asks the right questions early.
Because that motherfucker deserves to know what he's getting into.